take every opportunity I can to tell people what happened to me over the past 5 years. I'll stop anyone in a store, in a bank, retail shops, on a beach. Gotta hear my story. But I'm so happy to tell it here at Lahey. 5 years ago, I was a regulatory attorney, a vice president of a biotechnology company in drug development. I had spent my career actually working in clinical trials, overseeing clinical trials, and knew so much about drugs, helping people. And I was pretty stressed out that summer. I was traveling. It was the summer of 2005. And I got a raspy throat, and I thought, okay, well, I'm on planes all the time, you know, I'm just exhausted, and so it's probably walking pneumonia. I'll just let it go, I'll get over it. And by August, I thought, well, I'm just going to go maybe see a doctor about it and get an antibiotic. So I came out to Lahey, and they did an x-ray, and they said, oh, you have a little spot on your lung. And I said, oh, that's it, I have walking pneumonia. You know, I'm thinking, I'll just go get an antibiotic and I'll be fine. He said, well, you need a CAT scan. And I said, really? Okay. Still not thinking that I was in any kind of trouble. The next day, I had a CAT scan. I got a call from the pulmonary doctor, and sure enough, I was in trouble. There was a tumor in my right lung. But I was still pretty excited. I'm such a positive person. Months went by. Everything else coming out negative, negative, negative. And so they were pretty convinced that I might be lucky not having lung cancer, but the last final straw was to go and have a lung biopsy, and I had to go into Boston for that because they were very backed up here that week. And it just went from bad to worse. I did end up having lung cancer. I was given no hope at this Boston hospital, no hope and no clinical trial available for me. On that day, by then it was December of 2005, I had waited 3 hours for a 15-minute appointment, called my pulmonary doctor and said, this isn't going to work. And he said, I want you to come out to Lahey and I want you to meet Dr. Schuster. 4 hours later, I met him. The door opened, and in walked an oncologist with hope that I never thought I would hear. He sat down with me, and I waited 15 minutes for a 3-hour appointment with someone who gave me hope, and real hope. It wasn't false hope. He said, don't worry about this stage. That's my problem. I need for treatment. You need to live. And he said, there's a new drug that's out, and I do have hope for you that you may respond to it. But the clinical trial isn't set up yet, but I think I'm going to treat you anyway. And that was on a Friday. I got a call the following Wednesday, and he did something extraordinary. On that Friday afternoon, we met with him from 4 to 7. His associate called me and said, when you left that Friday at 7, he called Genentech out in California, the company that had the clinical trial, and he said, I want that trial up and running in 1 week, and I want this woman enrolled. And he went to the safety committee, said the same thing, and 1 week later, I was enrolled. Which, for me, coming from the industry of overseeing clinical trials, that is a miracle in and of itself. I was the third person in the world to go into this clinical trial with the most grim diagnosis that anyone could ever have. And 4.5 years later, I'm standing here telling you my story. Thank you. So I've lived almost 5 years in August. I am living a great life. One little hiccup is a year ago I got another lung cancer. Same diagnosis, not good. I actually had been sent into Boston for the next clinical trial, the son of the clinical trial I'd been in, and it was only being run in Boston. So Lahey sent me in there, another lung biopsy, another horrible diagnosis. Came back out. I now have Dr. Francis W. Nugent. He calls himself FW. I love that. And he is another incredible oncologist. I don't even have the words. I am overwhelmed by what Lahey has done for me. It's a year later, after I was once again given virtually no hope in Boston, and here I am, almost 5 years out, to tell my story. I'm doing so well. I am living a great life. And I want to just end with something. A couple of things I want to say about Lahey that I think is so important. The medical staff here, from the minute you walk in the door, whether you're being registered to go in the door or you're meeting with the nurses in the infusion room, the doctors, every single one of them always looks you in the eye. They always let you know that they care. It's in the way they touch you in the infusion room to put the needle in. It's the smile that they give you if you're crying, which I've done many times. It's been incredible to be with a group of people where I always feel like I'm an individual and they care about me. And they go to such an extraordinary length to try to save one individual, someone like me, but they do that for everybody. So I can't say enough for Lahey.